Did you know there are over 400 toxic chemicals silently floating through the average American home? And as we grow older, our bodies don't fight them off the way they used to. In fact, by age 60, even a simple artificial air freshener can trigger headaches, chest tightness, and sleepless nights. But here's the truth no one's saying out loud. It's not just about what we clean with, it's how we treat our home, like a battlefield or like a sanctuary. So let me ask you something. When was the last time your home felt clean? Not just looks tidy, but light, peaceful, healing. If you've ever walked into a Japanese home and felt a kind of quiet softness in the air, there's a reason, and it has nothing to do with bleach, plastic gloves, or industrial vacuums. It has everything to do with ancient wisdom, natural rhythms, and respect. Today, I'm going to share with you 8 powerful Japanese-inspired cleaning rituals. Simple, beautiful, and backed by both tradition and science. That will help your home breathe again. No chemicals, no stress, just clarity, comfort, and calm. Because you deserve more than a clean house. You deserve a home that heals you. Let's begin. You spray, you scrub, you vacuum until the lines on the carpet look perfect. And yet, the air still feels heavy. The smell never truly disappears. And somehow you wake up tired, even after a full night's sleep. If that sounds familiar, you're not imagining things. Because the truth is, for many of us, the real problem isn't dirt. It's what we've been taught to use against dirt. Over the last few decades, American homes have quietly turned into chemical storage rooms. Disinfectants, air fresheners, floor cleaners, fabric sprays, all promising fresh, clean, and safe. But inside those promises are hundreds of synthetic compounds your body was never meant to breathe every day. A 2023 report from the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences revealed something unsettling. Older adults exposed regularly to synthetic indoor fragrances experience significantly higher rates of breathing irritation, more frequent headaches, and increased chest tightness, even in homes that look spotless. And here's the part that matters most as we age. Our bodies don't detox the way they used to. Our skin becomes thinner, our lungs more sensitive, our nervous system less forgiving. So while younger bodies might handle chemical exposure for a while, older bodies absorb it faster and suffer longer. That's why so many people say, I don't know why I feel so drained at home. Or my house is clean, but I never feel rested. It's not laziness. It's not age. It's the environment. In Japan, elders learned this lesson generations ago. They don't clean to dominate dirt. They clean to cooperate with the space. Instead of overpowering smells, they aim for neutrality. Instead of stripping surfaces, they nourish them. Instead of rushing, they move slowly. Because slow cleaning stirs less dust, less stress, and less harm. One retired school teacher once told me, when my home stopped smelling like products, my breathing finally softened. That's the shift most of us never make. We keep adding more. More spray, more force, more scent. When what our homes are begging for is less. Less chemicals, less noise, less aggression. Cleaning the American way often treats the house like an enemy to conquer. The Japanese way treats it like a body to care for. And once you see that difference, everything changes. Because if harsh chemicals are the hidden enemy, then gentle natural methods aren't just alternatives. They're protection. So before we talk about tools, before techniques, before rituals, we start at the foundation, the place that holds your body every single day, the surface that carries your weight, your steps, your stillness. Let's go down to the floor, because in Japan, healing the home always begins there. And that's where Tatami Wisdom comes in. In Japan, the floor is not just something you walk on, it's sacred space. It's where families sit to eat, children nap in the sun, elders meditate, and guests are received with care. And for centuries, they've cleaned it not with machines, but with their hands, their breath, and their presence. There's a reason for that, because when you clean the floor gently, you begin to care for your own body differently too. They call it Tatami Wisdom, named after the woven straw mats that line traditional Japanese homes. These floors aren't meant to be scrubbed. They're meant to be respected. And that begins with one simple shift. Treat your floor the way you treat your own skin. In America, we're taught to attack dirt with harsh cleaners, bleach, and machines so loud they drown out our thoughts. But in Japan, elders kneel. They bow slightly. They move slowly from one end of the room to the other, not in circles, not in chaos, but in clear, straight lines. This isn't just tradition, it's intention. It keeps dust from lifting into the air. It quiets the mind while strengthening the body. Some elders even call it floor yoga, gentle stretching with purpose. And the tools? No mop, no plastic bottle, no synthetic fragrance. Just a soft cotton cloth, often hand-sewn from an old towel, a bucket of warm water, 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar, not the kind you put on fries, but the kind that has gently cleaned temples for generations. Rice vinegar disinfects naturally. It breaks down oils, neutralizes odors, and conditions wood without stripping it dry. Add a drop of eucalyptus or hinoki oil, and suddenly, the scent of your home shifts. It doesn't smell clean, it smells calm. And here's a tip passed down quietly in many Japanese households. If you have wooden floors or even laminate, wipe with the grain, never against it. Why? Because going against the grain pushes dirt deeper and wears the surface down over time. Going with the grain lets the cloth glide. It lifts what's ready to be released and leaves the rest in peace. Now, for those with carpets, you can still practice Tatami Wisdom. Kneel down, use a damp cloth with green tea water to dab spots gently. Work in slow motions. Breathe as you go. Because here's the real secret. When you clean the floor mindfully, you reconnect with the ground beneath you. Your balance improves. Your joints loosen. Your thoughts quiet. You begin to notice things you hadn't in years. A patch of sun on the floorboards, the sound of your own breath, the softness of silence. One elder once told me, "I don't clean my floor to make it shine. I clean it so my spirit can rest when I sit." And when you move like that, slow, gentle, deliberate, your home starts to feel less like a task and more like a companion. So tomorrow morning before you turn on the vacuum, try this instead. Warm water, a splash of rice vinegar, a cloth from your kitchen drawer. Get close, move slow, and listen to what your floor has been trying to tell you all these years. It's not crying for chemicals. It's asking for care. And once the floor is calm, the whole house begins to soften with it. Now that we've grounded ourselves, it's time to lift our gaze to the windows that breathe and the paper-thin wisdom they carry. Now that your floor is calm, lift your eyes. Look toward the light. Because in Japanese homes, windows do more than frame the view. They breathe, they filter, they heal. Have you ever stepped into a room and instantly felt lighter? Like the air was gentler, the light softer. Even though nothing looked extraordinary? That's not an accident. It's often the work of something most Americans have never heard of. Washi. Washi is a traditional Japanese paper made from the inner bark of the mulberry tree. It's strong, delicate, and, most importantly, alive. It lets light through in a soft, diffused way. It absorbs moisture, traps dust, and subtly balances the scent of a room. But this isn't just about Japan. You don't need shoji doors or tatami walls to bring this wisdom home. You simply need to let your windows breathe. Here's where we often go wrong. In most American homes, windows are covered with synthetic curtains, plastic blinds, or heavy drapes sprayed with artificial fragrance. These materials don't just block light, they trap air. They hold on to dust, odors, and moisture. And over time, they start to smell, not just musty, but stagnant. But the Japanese approach is different. They use natural fibers, cotton, linen, bamboo. These materials do something beautiful. They cooperate with the air. During the day, they soak up excess humidity. At night, they release it gently. No machine required, just rhythm. Professional Japanese cleaners even go a step further. Once a month, they wipe down their curtains or screens with a soft cloth soaked in water infused with yuzu oil or green tea. This doesn't just clean, it refreshes. It leaves a barely there scent of citrus and calm. No residue, no synthetic ocean breeze. Just clarity. You can do the same. Take your curtains down. Wash them gently or simply let them hang in sunlight. Wipe them with a natural mist. Let the air move. Because a home with fresh air is a home with less tension, less dust, fewer headaches, and more moments of quiet breath. My friend Aiko, who's 82 and still paints every morning by her window, once said, "The light in a room is like a voice. If you soften it, everything listens better." And she's right. When your light is soft, your spirit listens. When your air moves, your energy returns. So take a moment today. Walk to your window. Touch the curtain. Open it wide. Let the stale air leave. Let new light in. And if you're ready, replace the synthetic with the simple. Because your windows aren't just glass. They're lungs. They breathe with you. And when they breathe better, so will you. Now, before we continue deeper into the house, let's stop at the very place where it all begins, the front door. Because what enters there shapes everything inside. Step back with me to the very first place you touch when you enter your home, the front door, the threshold, the Genkan. In Japan, this space is more than just an entryway. It's a guardian, a buffer between the outside world and the peace within. Here in the West, we often think of cleaning as what happens after dirt enters. But Japanese wisdom teaches the opposite. Protect the entrance, and you protect everything beyond it. The Genkan isn't just where you take off your shoes, it's where you take off the day. And if this space is neglected, dusty, cluttered, or filled with chemical shoe sprays, that heaviness follows you inside. Did you know that studies show over 90% of the dirt inside your home comes from outside, mostly tracked in by shoes? And a single pair of soles can carry hundreds of thousands of bacteria, including E. coli, mold spores, and toxic microplastics. That's not just unsanitary, it's unsafe, especially for elders with sensitive lungs or lowered immunity. But the Japanese have a quiet, powerful answer. 3 layers of defense. First, a rough mat outside the door to catch the heavy stuff. Then a soft inner mat, often made of cotton or bamboo, to trap the finer dust. And finally, a dedicated space for shoes, never worn past the entry. It's not about perfection, it's about intention. Some families even go further. They spritz the soles of their shoes weekly with a blend of white vinegar, water, and a drop of tea tree oil, a natural disinfectant that kills germs without adding chemical fumes. Others wipe their floor tiles with shiso leaf water, a Japanese herb known for its antibacterial and minty fresh properties. And here's the part I love most. Many elders place a small bowl of sea salt by the door, or a bundle of cedar twigs tied with string. Not because it looks pretty, though it often does, but because salt absorbs odor and energy, and cedar naturally repels insects while releasing a grounding, forest scent. These little touches send a message. This home is protected. This space is watched over. You may enter, but leave your stress at the door. One grandmother in Tokyo told me, "My Genkan isn't a hallway, it's a pause." And when I stood in her home, I understood. It was quiet, soft, clear. You could feel it, even before you saw the living room. So today, take a fresh look at your front door. Is it helping your home feel peaceful or inviting chaos inside? Add a second mat. Wipe your shoes. Place a cedar stick in a bowl of rice. And notice how your body relaxes just from that first step. Because how you enter your home shapes how you live inside it. And when your doorway is calm, your whole home begins to follow. Next, we'll talk about the things we bring inside and how organizing them the right way can clear more than just clutter. It can clear the air and the mind. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you opened a drawer and felt peace? Not frustration, not the guilty thought of, "I should clean this," but actual peace, like everything had a place and every place had a purpose. For most of us, clutter sneaks up slowly. An extra box here, a few unopened mail envelopes there, stacks of things we might need someday, until suddenly the air feels tight, and we don't know why. But in Japanese homes, especially those of the elders, clutter is rare, not because they're obsessed with minimalism, not because they live in tiny spaces, but because they follow a quiet principle rooted in centuries of wisdom. The Bento Method. Just like a traditional bento lunchbox, where each food has its own section, portion, and rhythm of use, a Japanese home gives every item a place, a purpose, and a timeline. Nothing is random, nothing is rushed, nothing is permanent. Professional cleaners in Japan sort items not just by size but by frequency of use: daily, weekly, seasonal, or sentimental. Daily items are easy to reach. Seasonal ones are boxed and aired out once a month. And sentimental things, they're stored with respect, not buried but honored. And here's the secret. They use breathable storage: baskets of bamboo, cloth-lined boxes, wooden trays, not plastic bins that trap moisture and smell like old garages. Inside each container, they place natural aroma absorbers: dried citrus peel, roasted tea leaves, or a few pieces of charcoal wrapped in cotton. These don't just keep bugs away, they gently scent the air, with notes of memory, comfort, and calm. Because when air flows freely around your belongings, your thoughts begin to flow more freely too. There's even science behind this. Studies have shown that visual clutter increases cortisol, the stress hormone, especially in older adults. But a home with clear lines, soft materials, and gentle order, it lowers heart rate, improves sleep, and even boosts decision-making. I once visited the home of Miss Suki, a retired teacher in Kyoto. Her house was simple, not empty, but curated. Each drawer opened like a page in a book. Each shelf felt like a memory that could breathe. Her grandchildren once said, "Grandma's house smells like peace." And when I walked in, I knew exactly what they meant. So here's something you can try today. Pick one drawer, just one. Sort by rhythm: daily, weekly, seasonal, or sentimental. Use natural materials. No plastic if you can avoid it. Place a sachet of green tea or dried orange peel inside. Then close it. Breathe. Feel the difference. It's not just cleaner, it's lighter. Because when we release clutter, we don't just clear space. We make room for rest. We make room for clarity. We make room for ourselves. And once your drawers, closets, and corners feel calm, the next room to heal is the one where we often forget to care: the bathroom. Let's turn that space from functional to sacred. Let's step into the bathroom, not just to clean it, but to rethink it. Because for many of us, the bathroom has become a space of harsh smells, quick routines, and endless clutter. Air fresheners, bleach sprays, cold tiles, wet towels under the sink. We rush in, we rush out. And yet, this is the room where we begin and end our days. Shouldn't it feel healing? In Japan, the bathroom is treated with reverence. It's not just a place of hygiene, it's a place of reset, a small sanctuary for the body and spirit. And they keep it that way with a simple, elegant practice I like to call the Hinoi towel trick. Hinoi, or Japanese cypress, is a wood with a soft, calming scent. It's naturally antibacterial, mold-resistant, and has been used for centuries in temples and bathhouses. But you don't need a fancy wooden tub to experience its magic. All you need is a towel, warm water, and a few drops of cypress essential oil. Here's how it works. Soak the towel in hot water infused with Hinoi oil, wring it out gently, then hang it over a towel bar or hook in your bathroom. As it dries, it releases a slow, forest-like aroma, calming, fresh, and clean. No chemicals, no aerosol sprays. Just steam and scent. Working with the room, not against it. But the professionals in Japan take it even further. Once a week, they place a small pot of steaming green tea and Hanoi wood chips in the corner of the bathroom. They let it sit, with the door closed, for 10 minutes. No scrubbing, no stress, just steam. This steam doesn't just smell good, it kills odor-causing bacteria. It loosens hidden moisture in tile grout, and it makes the whole room feel like a high-end spa, without the chemicals. Then, while the room is still warm and damp, they wipe down corners, under the toilet rim, behind the sink, using bamboo vinegar or citrus water. These natural solutions clean gently, kill mold, and leave zero chemical residue. And here's one more habit that makes all the difference. Towels are aired daily, not stored damp under sinks, not reused until they sour. Japanese elders fold towels in sunlight. They give them fresh air. And that simple act keeps their bathroom smelling like cedar and calm, not mildew and fatigue. One viewer once told me, "My bathroom used to smell like bleach. Now it smells like the forest after rain." And that, my friends, is what this is all about. Because at this stage of life, we're not just looking for clean, we're looking for peace. So if your bathroom feels cold, cluttered, or chemical heavy, start small. One towel, one drop of oil, one pot of steam. Let the scent rise. Let the room breathe. Let yourself exhale. Because when your most private room feels like a sanctuary, your whole day begins and ends with serenity. Next, we'll discover a surprising secret passed down from Japanese kitchens. A forgotten ritual that transforms rice water into a natural polish for walls, wood, and the soul. Sometimes the most powerful cleaning tools are completely silent. No spray, no scent, not even a wipe. Just salt, just steam, just stillness. In Japanese homes, there's a ritual older than any mop, older than any vacuum. It's called shubatsu, the quiet act of spiritual purification. And though it sounds mysterious, it's rooted in something deeply familiar, the desire to reset. Because even in the cleanest homes, something lingers. A heaviness, a stale tension in the corners, a sense that the air has stopped moving. That's where salt comes in. In traditional Japanese practice, coarse sea salt is sprinkled in the corners of rooms, by doorways, behind toilets, under beds, and along windowsills. Not for decoration, not for superstition, but because salt, quite literally, draws out moisture, odor, and even airborne bacteria. After 24 hours, it's swept away, thrown out, never reused. Not because it's dirty, but because it's done its job. It has absorbed what no one could see. And that simple act, a few pinches of salt, can transform how a room feels. But the Japanese don't stop there. In many homes, you'll also find a small cast iron kettle, or tetsubin, quietly steaming in the center of the house. Inside, water, a few herbs, some dried citrus peel, maybe a sprig of cedar or shiso leaf. No artificial oils, no fragrance chemicals, just steam. As it simmers, this blend hydrates the air, neutralizes odors, and brings a subtle, living scent that no store-bought spray can match. And science agrees. Studies have shown that green tea steam can reduce airborne bacteria by over 80% within just 20 minutes. Not to mention how the humidity helps with dry skin, better breathing, and deeper sleep, especially in older adults. But the real power of this ritual isn't just physical, it's emotional. Because when you place salt in a corner, when you steam herbs in silence, when you wipe a surface slowly with intention, you're not just cleaning a space, you're reclaiming it. One elder from Okinawa told me, "I sprinkle salt not to ward off spirits, but to remind myself that this home is mine to protect." And that's the point. These rituals aren't about belief, they're about presence. They say this corner matters, this breath matters, this room deserves more than maintenance, it deserves care. So today, try something small. Place a tiny bowl of salt near your doorway. Let a pot of steam rise in the center of your home. Wipe the dust in silence. No music, no phone, just you in the room. Because cleaning, in its purest form, is a form of listening. To your home, to your breath, to yourself. And once the air clears, not just from dust, but from noise, you'll begin to feel something returning. Stillness, balance, peace. And when that peace is restored, there's only one place left to tend to, the heart of your home. Next, we'll go there, not with tools, but with gratitude. Some people start their day with coffee, others with news, pills, or silence. But in Japan, many elders begin their mornings not by consuming, but by giving back to their homes, to themselves, to the present moment. They call it the morning chant clean, and it's not a chore, it's a ritual. 15 minutes, no rush, no checklist, just one soft cloth, an open window, and presence. Here's what it looks like. Before breakfast, before phone calls, before even brushing your teeth. You walk your home slowly, gently. You open a window. You wipe the edge of a table. You straighten a cushion. You sweep along the floorboards, not to remove dirt, but to wake the space. Some whisper words. A soft, "Thank you for sheltering me," or "May this room stay peaceful." Others simply breathe. But either way, something beautiful happens. The home comes alive. It responds, not with sound, but with ease. The air feels lighter. The corners feel seen. You feel seen. And this isn't just poetic. Studies show that starting the day with light physical movement combined with intentional thought reduces stress by up to 47%, lowers blood pressure, and increases mental clarity for hours, especially in people over 55. This tiny ritual, a cloth, a window, a breath, does more than clean. It centers you. It resets the nervous system. It tells your body, we are safe now. One elderly man in Nagano told me, I used to clean when my house got dirty. Now I clean to remind myself I'm alive. And I believe that's the most beautiful reason of all. So tomorrow morning, don't reach for the spray bottle. Don't start with noise. Start with stillness. Wipe your nightstand. Open the curtain. Let the morning light pour in like a prayer. Let your home exhale. And then, so will you. Because the point of all these rituals, the rice water, the salt, the vinegar, the towels, was never perfection. It was peace. And at this stage of life, we're not racing anymore. We're arriving, back to ourselves, back to the quiet beauty of the spaces we've built, back to homes that don't just shine, but breathe with us.